Now, earlier on in the service, Nadine talked about those wow moments that we all experience from time to time, and we shared some of our own special times. I was thinking about what wow moments I've had recently, and I had a wonderful one in late January. We went away for a weekend to a place called Blackmore on the North Norfolk coast to celebrate my birthday, and we'd gone out for a meal in a hotel nearby in the evening. When we came out, it was the most amazing sight. It was a very clear, cold night, and the sky was absolutely clear. And I think it struck me particularly because you're absolutely out in the wilds, there's no light pollution at all. And the sky was absolutely majestic. There were all the stars shining out so brightly over the rooftops of this humble little village, and it was a sort of memory that will linger with me for a long time. That takes us on, I think, quite well to that passage from 2 Peter that we just heard then, where he talks about his eyewitness experience on that mountaintop, actually experiencing the transfiguration of Jesus, and what a life-changing experience that must have been, seeing Jesus' face shining like the sun, seeing him there with the heroes of the Old Testament, the great patriarchs, Moses and Elijah, and hearing those words of God which echoed words which had been heard before at Jesus' baptism. This is my Son, the Beloved. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him. And that experience had a twofold transformational effect on Peter. Firstly, it confirmed for him the prophecies that he had read, no doubt since he was a young man, which he'd absorbed into the fibre of his being. It confirmed that those prophecies were true. And secondly, those prophecies confirmed for him that his experience was true. It was real, not imagined. For Peter, he says it was like the day dawning, the morning star rising in his heart. And for me, it's a vivid testimony of the power of Scripture. And the power of Scripture brings me on to my visual aids. Now, this isn't just any old clothesline, it's not a bring and buy sale, it's not the recycled clothes show. What I'd like you to imagine is that each of these items of clothing represents different verses in the Bible which are useful for us in our daily lives. So first of all, we've got everyday clothes. These are scriptures which are useful for us for our everyday living. Think of things like the Ten Commandments, or the passage in the Sermon on the Mount where Jesus instructs his disciples in the Lord's Prayer, and he gives them some guidance about how to pray. He says, don't make a song and dance about it, don't stand on the street corner making a scene. Go into your own private room and close the door and pray to your Father in secret. And your Father who hears in secret will hear your prayer. And then we have special clothes. Don't worry, I'm not going to do a Grayson Perry. Thank you. These are passages for special occasions. And here I'm thinking about things that we hear, like maybe the first chapter of John's Gospel that we hear at Christmas time. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Or maybe something like Paul's letter to the Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 13, which we often hear at weddings. Now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, and the greatest of these is love. Now we move on to favourite clothes. This shirt is a rather favourite one of mine. It was given to me by my son Jonathan, covered in little butterflies. It gives me a sort of spring in my step. Favourite clothes, these represent passages from the Bible that encourage us and build us up. I'm thinking of passages like that wonderful one from Isaiah. It says, "Those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint." Or another favourite of mine is from the Old Testament prophet Micah. "He has told you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and love kindness and walk humbly with your God?" Those are words which have a special, particular resonance for me because they're often quoted by Christian Aid, and they chime very well with their campaigns for peace and justice for some of the world's poorest people. Then we have gloves. What might they be for? Well, gloves, this is about passages of Scripture which are a source of comfort or protection. Verses that talk about the peace and security that comes from God. And one lingers in my mind, particularly it's one that we heard just last Sunday from the tail end of the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus says, "Do not worry. Do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is life not more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap, nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than them?" Beautiful words of encouragement and comfort and compassion from Jesus. Finally, we have a beautiful pair of pyjamas. Who do these belong to? Henry, very special. Pyjamas, what might they represent? Well, they speak of Bible passages which are more private and personal. Maybe things that we wouldn't think of sharing with other people, but they're nonetheless very important in our lives. For me, I think of, well, every day I like to spend some time in the morning and the evening doing some contemplative prayer, just doing nothing in the presence of God. And the challenge with that is that our active minds don't like us to do nothing, and very soon our minds are invaded by a whole pile of nonsense, just distractions one after another. It's at times like that that I turn to some words from Psalm 46. "Be still and know that I am God." And often I just have to mention the first two words, "be still," and that's enough to still my mind. Now, all these clothes are no good if they're left on the line or in the back of a wardrobe. There's no life in them unless they are worn and enjoyed. If we are going to engage with the words of the Bible, we need to wear them like our clothes. using it and applying it in everyday contexts, in every part of our daily lives. Clothes do not come alive until we put them on and use them with confidence. The same with the words of God. For Peter, that wow moment when he experienced the transfiguration changed his life forever, linking his experience with the experiences of others and with Scripture. As Nadine said, up until that point, he'd known Jesus as a friend, as a leader, as a teacher, and as a healer. But from that point on, he knew of Jesus as the Son of God. As individuals, because our personal experience is limited, we can only understand a small part of the whole truth. We need the Holy Spirit to help us understand the Bible alongside our own experiences and the experiences of others. In this way, we can hear and we can apply God's word, and we can encourage one another to do the same. When we put personal and shared experiences together with clear understanding of Scripture, we will have confidence in the truth of who Jesus is. And that is like putting on the clothes and wearing them with pride. Amen.
So this Sunday is the last Sunday before Lent. On Wednesday, it's Ash Wednesday, and we have a service here at 8 o'clock in the evening to mark the time from Ash Wednesday through to Easter that we call Lent. We've got lots for you to be joining in with. Some of you will have already picked up one of these, which is the Lent menu. This is put together with all the churches in Wendover, and it's a whole host of activities that you can be taking part just yourself or with other people all the way through. So please do take one, or you can find it online. If you go onto our website, there's a banner on the front page that takes you to this. If you receive our update, there was a link on that. So there's no excuse for not knowing what is going on. On Tuesday, it being Shrove Tuesday, there'll be pancakes at the Christian Centre in the middle of the village between 12:30 and 1:30 and 6:30 and 7:30. But there'll also be a pancake party here in church between 4 and 5:30. That's primarily for little people, but if you want to come along and have pancake with them, then you're very welcome to do that. So, and then, as I say, on Wednesday, we have our service at 8 p.m. If you are on our list for updates, you will have received a second one, or rather a first email this week on Wednesday, all about Come and See. And Come and See is a diocesan resource of the whole of the Diocese of Oxford that's looking at the Beatitudes. There's all sorts of ways you can engage with that. So you can register for a daily email, which will be a reflection, a prayer, and on a Sunday, a film, the Bishop of Oxford. There are emails for families that are published once a week. Again, if you're on our update, you will see the link to that, or the link is in the Lent menu. Starting on Wednesday, the 1st of March, at 7:30, we are running a Lent group. So for anybody that wants to come on that Wednesday evening and engage through the 6 weeks of the Come and See themes, please do come. So again, we're doing it as churches together. And I know that a couple of home groups across the village are going to be joining us. You don't have to come to each one, but it'd be really good if lots of us can come and be thinking together. On Sundays, we'll be using the theme in our sermons, and on a Thursday morning, when we have our 10 o'clock communion service, again, we'll use it within that as well. So you can be well and truly soaked in Come and See, which would be fantastic for us as a church and as a village. If you don't get emails, can't register emails, there is this little booklet that's called 40 Days of Reflections on the Beatitudes, written by Stephen Croft, who's our bishop. And these will be very, very similar to what comes on the daily email. We have got a selection of books. If you're the sort of person who likes to work your way through a book during Lent, there is this one by Sally Welch. We had one by her for Advent. This is called Sharing the Easter Story. It's got a daily passage and reflection for you to use. This one is called Women of Holy Week. It's by Paula Gooder, who's a canon at St. Paul's. Paula is a very, very accessible theologian, and this is primarily for Holy Week, but it doesn't have to be exclusively. And there's lots of wonderful pictures for you to reflect on in that as well. And finally, God Forsaken by Stephen Cottrell, who's the Archbishop of York. This is again a book for the whole of Lent and Holy Week. All of these are on a table at the back. There's a list there. If you wanting to pay cash, you can do that. Please write your name and say that you've paid cash and tick which book you've taken. If you don't have cash, you can take a slip and do a Baxt transfer. So please do help yourselves. There are only, I think, 3 of the Women of Holy Week. We'll top it up because we're able to get them from St Andrews fairly easily. So that's lots going on during Lent, and I really, really encourage you to take part, as I say, in the way that works for you. We all journey in different ways. I think that's all that I have to tell. We had a wonderful barn dance last night. Some of you were here dancing, so it was really good. And thanks to Bridget, wherever she is. She's there, and lots of people who helped to make that happen.
We are marching